I know.
It's awful quiet out there.
Okay, if I must sing, I will.
Go ahead. Floor's all yours.
Is that mine?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Juice. He let out a grunt when he hit that. I swear that thing was
Mr. Logan, are you there?
Yes, I am.
We need your flag, sir. I don't see Chief.
Well, Chief is there.
I'm here, Madam President, with the flag.
Thank you, sir. Would you lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance?
Certainly I will.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
America,
and to the republic
For
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 which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and
and
justice
justice for all.
for all.
Thank you. Would someone like to offer up prayer?
I'll do that, please.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Dear God, we come today, first of all, just thanking you for your loving kindness. Thank you for your mercies.
Thank
And
you.
now we pray for the welfare and the well-being of our city and all of our residents. We pray that you be with us tonight as we conduct business on behalf of the city. We pray that it is pleasing to you as well as beneficial for our constituents. These blessings we ask in your name and through your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so at this time, I would like to ask for an approval of our
Council
March
President,
22nd. I'm sorry.
can you have Ruth Ann send Councilperson Green the link to this meeting?
That's what I was in the process of doing, but Ruth Ann's listening, so that'll be fine.
Okay, she just inboxed me, text me.
She okay? Did it get through? Okay, again, we're coming out of our executive session where we discussed real estate, legal matters, and personnel matters. And I would like to ask for a motion for approval of our March 22nd minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
Who's that, the second?
I'll second.
No, I heard someone say it, but I didn't know who it was.
It was Alameen and Folks.
Mr. Folks, second.
Are there any questions or comments? Full council, please.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lavender Norris.
Yes.
Thank you.
Could I get a motion for approval of our accounts payables?
So moved.
I'll second.
Questions, comments? Full council, please.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lavender Norris.
Yes.
7-0 carries. Thank you.
Do you have any deletions or modifications? Okay, let's proceed to our presentations. First being the swearing in of our promoted officer.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, Judge Hines.
Chief, do you have any particular order, or you want me to go from the officer to the lieutenant?
What I'd like to do is just sort of set the stage here, Your Honor, if I
Okay.
could, just for a minute. Council and those in attendance of the meeting tonight, if you will recall, last council meeting back in March, we approved the promotion of Sergeant Ollis to lieutenant, Corporal Injemy to sergeant, and part-time Officer Himmel to full-time officer. Those moves were necessary due to the retirement of longtime Lieutenant James Audette. So if I could just have a minute and just speak about Lieutenant Audette's retirement. Lieutenant Audette joined the department on October 24th of 2000. He was promoted to corporal on October 16th of 2007, sergeant on September 7th of 2008, and lieutenant on July 1st of 2013. Throughout his career, he served in many capacities, including acting chief prior to his promotion to lieutenant in 2013. And throughout all of his assignments and promotions, Lieutenant Audette served with honor and distinction. In the last 8 years as chief, I and the department had the privilege of having Lieutenant Jim Audette as second in command of the department. Upon announcement of his retirement, Lieutenant Audette submitted correspondence, and I'd just like to take a quick minute to read the correspondence. It says, "Dear Chief Lawfer, please accept this letter as notification to the City of Coatesville Police Department that I will be retiring effective Friday, March 26th, 2021, being my last working day. It has been a great and memorable time working as a police officer in the City of Coatesville for the last 20 years. I must admit this was a tough decision, but I believe it's the best decision. I have decided the time has come for me to start my retirement here and begin my second career. I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve the police department in the many roles I was able to fill. May I take this opportunity to thank you most graciously for the help, support, and opportunities I've had under your leadership. It has been a remarkable experience, and I have enjoyed all the time spent working for you these last 8 years. Under your leadership, you have made the Coatesville Police Department a professional organization and a well-respected place to work. I have genuinely enjoyed my employment as a police officer and will miss you and my coworkers when my retirement day comes. I wish only the best for every officer in the Coatesville Police Department. As always, be safe and make it home to your families. And Lieutenant Audette started his second career with the Chester County Sheriff's Department as a sheriff's deputy. And I'm sure he will enjoy the same level of success he has had with our department with his new department. So if anybody would like to make any comments from council, this is our chance. Lieutenant Audette is in attendance tonight with the other officers that are going to be promoted.
I would just like to take the opportunity to tell that young man that he has to return back to the police department.
Madam President,
Yes.
if I may, Sheriff Audette, since you're no longer the lieutenant, but I want to thank you for all the years. You know, I feel like I've been here pretty much your whole, pretty much most of your career. It wasn't too long after that, but I want to thank you for your tireless commitment to the city of Coatesville and making this a better police department and the finest police department, I say, in all Chester County and the Commonwealth. And I want to thank you for everything you've done, and good luck in the future, and appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Yes, please.
Yeah, to all that, yeah, man. I can remember 19 and a half years ago, I was in the Coatesville parade, and I had a Corvette, and we was in the parade and I was squealing tires. Audette pulled me over and gave me a ticket in the parade and said, "Go on, son." And so we went to court. The court they're standing in now, and I didn't have to pay, but that's how me and Mr. Audette met. By him giving me a disorderly conduct, squealing tires. So man, look, I love you. I love your mom. She was involved in this city for a very long time. Your whole family was involved. So man, I'm so proud of you. Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're sure enough welcome.
This was an extra large. I give it to you.
I'm coming.
If I
Thank you,
may,
man.
if I may, Lieutenant Audette, Sheriff Audette, I too want to thank you for your service here in our community. Thank you for all of the extra things that you've done during your tenure here. Very personable, always willing to come out and encourage. The pastor at Ebenezer was just talking about you yesterday, how you came down to the church and shared with the youth there, and even took time out to allow them to come out and see the vehicle and more or less teach them, give them some encouragement how to stay on the right side of the law. And that's the type of person that you were to me and to our community. And I thank you again so much. And I wish you nothing but goodness and joy as you continue in the Sheriff's Department. But I hope Chief will always keep your position open if for some reason you decide that you want to come back to us. We thank you so much. Thank you.
I would like to just thank Sheriff Audette for all that he has been in the city. working with the Community Day at Jubilee Ministries every summer when they would have it, bringing the police vehicle down and showing the kids. I just appreciate your efforts and your time that you have given to our residents. We talked about a project together one day, and I just want to let you know that that resonated so well with me. And I've seen your concern and care for the people in this community. And we will be going forward with that. And I just wish you well in your next chapter. I know that the Sheriff's Department is getting a jewel. And I just appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Lieutenant Aldet, now Sheriff Aldet, thank you so much for your tenure with the city, and I want to wish you well in your next venture with your next chapter as sheriff under, our Sheriff Fred Maddox, and I wish you and your family the best.
Thank you so much.
Sheriff Aldet, I just need you to know that December is coming by the grace of God, and it'll be time for Shop with a Cop.
Yes.
And you're still going to have to bring your saxophone along.
I think we can make arrangements for that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Newswan asked, just typed the little text there in the chat saying he hopes the sax wasn't retired.
No, it's not. We'll bring it out for December.
Wonderful. God bless you, and much health, joy, and safety to you in your new endeavor. And bless you and bless your family.
Thank you so much.
That Coates feels better for your tenure.
Thank you.
Want an opportunity to speak?
Yes.
Deputy?
Sure. Again, the letter that I wrote to Chief, it wasn't easy to do. But I meant every word that I said in there, as far as it was an honor to work under Chief Lawfer. He proposed many opportunities for me under positive leadership. And he has really turned our department around from the time where I was in that acting role to where it is today. And I can honestly say that it is definitely one of the more revered police departments here in Chester County, and it's a respectable professional department. So I was hopeful to take those skills that I've learned here, take them with me, and hopefully elevate the next place to that as well. And I'm finding out that they're a very professional organization as well, so I'm going to fit right in. But again, I want to thank the chief and everything that you've done for me in the last 8 years. And again, I genuinely enjoyed my career here working for the residents in the city of Coatesville. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Judge, then if we want to go ahead and proceed, recognizing our promotions tonight, we can start with our lieutenant.
I, Roger H. Ellis Jr.,
Being duly appointed
being duly appointed
as lieutenant in the city of Coatesville,
as lieutenant in the city of Coatesville,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the ordinances and regulations
the ordinances and regulations
of the city of Coatesville,
of the city of Coatesville,
and that I will discharge
and that I will discharge
the duties of my office with fidelity.
the duties of my office with fidelity.
Furthermore,
Furthermore,
I affirm that
I affirm that
I will uphold, obey, and enforce
I will uphold, obey, and enforce
the laws without consideration
the laws without consideration
to a person's race, color, or sex,
to a person's race, color, or sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability.
handicap, or disability.
Lastly,
So
I will perform
I will perform
the duties
the duties
of a police officer
of police officer
in the city of Coatesville
in the city of
with
Coatesville
fidelity
with fidelity
and honor
and
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
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 Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Can we still call you Sarge?
Congratulations. We'll call it you.
Luke. Well, I know that Sergeant Hollis, he's just a gem too.
Oh, my
And
goodness, yes.
we just so appreciate him, and I'm just glad he was promoted.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
I state your name.
I, Jeffrey Injemy,
Being duly appointed
being duly appointed
as sergeant
as sergeant
in the city of Coatesville,
in the city of Coatesville,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws
the Constitution and the
of
laws
the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the ordinance and regulations
and the ordinance and regulations
of the city of Coatesville,
of the city of Coatesville,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Furthermore, I affirm that
I affirm that
I will uphold, obey, and enforce
I will uphold, obey, and enforce
the laws without consideration
the laws without consideration
to a person's race, color, or sex,
to a person's race, color, or sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability.
handicap, or disability.
Lastly,
Lastly,
I will perform the duties
I will perform the duties
of a police officer
of a police officer
in the city of Coatesville
in the city of
with
Coatesville
fidelity and honor
with fidelity and honor
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Well, I would just like to say, Lieutenant Injemy, or Sergeant Injemy, has some big shoes to fill from Sergeant Hollis. And I'm not saying be exactly like him, but Sergeant Hollis brought such a personableness to the leadership team of this department. And I just hope to see the same from you.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
Thank you and congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
And thank you.
State your name.
I, Eric Hemmel,
Being duly appointed
being duly appointed
as a full-time police officer
as a full-time police officer
in the city of Coatesville,
in the city of Coatesville,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the ordinance and regulations
and the ordinance and regulations
of
of
the city of Coatesville,
the city of Coatesville,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Furthermore,
I
I affirm that
affirm that
I will uphold, obey, and enforce
I will uphold, obey, and enforce
the laws without consideration
the laws without consideration
to a person's race, color, or sex,
to a person's race, color, or sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability.
handicap, or disability.
Lastly,
Lastly,
I'll perform the duties
I'll perform the duties
of a police officer
of a police officer
in the city of Coatesville
in the city of Coatesville
with fidelity and honor.
with fidelity and honor.
That's my ability. So help me God.
So,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you, Judge Hines, for officiating the ceremonies tonight.
Not a problem. You guys have a lovely evening.
All right, thanks,
Thank you,
Judge.
Judge Hines. God bless
Judge
you.
Hines.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Mark Lane.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lane Udis, for those who do not know me. I'm also partners with Mark Sherman. We are discussing tonight the record building next to Chertox on Lincoln Highway. To go back a bit, we came to the city in the end of 2018. We purchased the Midway Arts building. Since then, there are now just about 35 mixed-use commercial and artist tenants in there. We're finishing off a new passenger elevator, adding on some commercial space on our top 5th floor, and finalizing our new entrance. We are also have moved to starting to work on the record building, and we wanted to bring to you what will be the Record Tap, most likely the Record Tap restaurant. Sorry?
I like that.
And we will be, if I can share here, if everyone can see this. This is our restaurant plan for the building. We have a restaurant side along here. It can fit about 95 guests inside. We have a back deck here, and we expect to have between 20 to 25 positions hired. I spoke to our chef earlier today. Our chef is currently the chef in Riva in Philadelphia and East Falls. He's also opening the Black Squirrel there and Foghorn Restaurant. All three are in East Falls, and he is moving along with us into Coatesville to open the Record Tap here. His specialty is pizza. He'll be doing some flatbreads here at this pizza oven, along with several other options. On our other side of the space, this would be 204 East Lincoln Highway. We have Angry Jack's Axe Throwing Club coming in. We expect to be able to serve their patrons beverage and food through our joint kitchen here. And then up above, this is the back of the building. This would be 207 Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. He has an additional 4 axe throwing lanes here. And AJ Mitchell is the head of Angry Jack's, and he's on here as well. And I'll give the floor to him to talk a bit about his business.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
Hi there.
Good.
All right. So I know when axe throwing comes up, a lot of things run through people's mind. The first and foremost, I promise it's safe. So Angry Jack's has our flagship facility in Exton, Pennsylvania. We have another location in Elkton, Maryland, and we will be opening on Bridge Street in Phoenixville here in the next 2 weeks. So this would be our 4th location in Coatesville. What really excited us about the opportunity was the partnership, was where Coatesville is now and what we see as the future plan. So I'm from here. I was born and raised in Downingtown, graduated from Downingtown. So I've been here my whole life and have watched it turn around. What we're really searching for is that experience, especially now coming out of everything we've all lived through in the last couple of years, is we really focus on that experience. So I know if you go into a search engine and type axe throwing, a lot comes up. So to put a little clarity into what Angry Jack's brings to the table is this: we really try to blend the sport of axe throwing with the experience. That being said, is we want people to walk into our clubs and not see wood chips and plywood, but feel a club, feel an environment where you are comfortable, it's inviting, and a place you see yourself coming back to. The best way to describe what axe throwing is right now is think of bowling 30 years ago, where it was. The league, the community around it. And that's really important to us. Is one of the first things we try to do is establish a community, get league throwers. We tend to offer several nights of leagues. We get those throwers going, and it grows. It grows from there. The other big focus for us are your birthday parties, your get-togethers, but as well as your corporate events. You know, a place for local businesses to come for a team building event. So all great focuses for us. That being said, does anybody have specific questions regarding axe throwing, the model, what it means?
I've never heard of it.
I'll tell you what, you ready?
Mhm.
We had 7 throwers compete at what's called the US Open of axe throwing. It is going to be re-airing on ESPN2 on the 17th. And of the 10 throwers that made it to TV, 4 of them represented Angry Jacks. So you'll get to see them talk about our club and who we are on the broadcast, and you get to see it.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I could tell
I'ma
you we
look.
have a few people coming in on the chat, and they're saying it's the hottest thing going right now, and that it's a lot of fun. I have not personally done it. I'm scared, but I can.
It got to be dangerous though. Is it dangerous?
It's not. That's where I started. So what's funny is that feeling you have is half the reason people come. They come and they're timid and they're hesitant. And what you'll see is it comes off as a very, you need strength and this masculine, you need to throw this really hard. And it's not. It's actually a very gentle momentum based. And after about 10, 20 minutes, you literally watch people relax. They relax, they calm down, and you just see them take a breath. And it becomes
Borden
something.
said too.
Are they real axes? Were they real axes?
Oh, they're definitely real axes.
Axes and alcohol. I'm not sure.
One of the most important things.
Huh?
You just think that is a big dart.
Carmen, my
That's all
thoughts
it is.
exactly.
It's a big dart.
It is.
Carmen, I'm with you. Axes and alcohol. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Come on, Carmen, we'll go together.
Yeah. I
One
don't
of the
know.
most
You
important
might not
things
want
of
to go with me.
this restaurant
I
at axe
think that's a
throwing.
great idea. I can't wait to see it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's one of something we're really excited about. We expect this to be a family-friendly atmosphere.
Very much so.
The first thing I noticed when I first spoke to AJ was that he really touts his coaching. The coaches that are at every lane aren't just there for your safety or to entertain. They're there to teach you. And they're the only axe throwing club I've ever heard of that allows kids as young as 9 to come in just because of their superb coaching. So when you come to this restaurant and when you come to this axe throwing club, you can expect it to be a family-friendly atmosphere, incredible coaching, and we're really looking forward to it.
Wow.
AJ, not to, we're kind of pressed for time here, but I do have a question from the chat room, and the question is,
sure,
what kind of crowd or demographic are you targeting for this particular venue?
So when we first got into axe throwing, I thought we were going to have a very specific demographic. And I will be honest with you and say that we don't have one. This is an event that I've had a 90-year-old woman come in and celebrate her birthday with us, to kids as young as 5 and 6 years old with their parents in the club. It really, because what it is people come for that novelty and they stay for that experience. So like Lane was mentioning, we have juniors leagues of over 30 kids ages 9 to 16 throwing. We have adult leagues, and our adult leagues range from late teens all the way up to early 70s, I think is where we're at right now for our Wednesday night leagues. And that is men, women. It is not an overly dominant men. You see a lot of women in the sport. And it is just a great community. It's a great, fun atmosphere. And I promise you, the alcohol is not an issue. We keep you busy enough.
Hey, Mr. Lane, a question. When
Say again?
No, a question for Lane.
Yes.
When do you see this coming together? Can't put a shovel in the ground, but when's the ribbon cutting?
Right. I've talked to AJ, and we can see just in terms of everything with the food and licensing coming together possibly a little bit later than the axe throwing be able to start up and open their doors. But we're hoping that sometimes towards the end of the summer, that set of plans that I just showed you is being submitted now through permitting, and it all depends on that timeline. But we are actually ready. Our construction team is ready to come in there. We're pretty much finished at some other locations where we need those members of our staff. So they are ready to come in and hit the ground, and we would like to be open for you as soon as possible.
Great.
I have a question for Mr. Lane. How are you, Mr. Lane?
Hello.
Good. So you mentioned 25 jobs coming as a result of the Top Record restaurant. So I just had a question about the wages for the jobs. Do the jobs guarantee like living wage jobs? So for a person living in Coatesville, able to have a third of their check to be able to pay for rent per month is what I mean by living wage job.
I know the answer is yes. The restaurant, if you could think of it as I am building the restaurant, I've actually never done the restaurant myself. It's more on my partner and his chef that have done 3 or 4, I think maybe 5 at this point together. So while I'm doing these early phases, probably later on they can answer the questions on the daily running of the restaurant. I can tell you the answer to that question is yes. I spoke to the chef earlier today, and he is looking to recruit all employees from the city of Coatesville. I believe actually 5 residents of Coatesville already work for AJ in their establishments. So that is definitely on the top of our agenda. I also saw another comment on here as I exited the shared screen, that questions about pricing generally for our restaurant. It's very important to have a really good range that you can come in, and it's an American fare pub that you can get something at a really inexpensive price. If you're looking for a larger entree, you can go that way with a cocktail as well. That's possible, but it is possible. You can come in, get a very reasonably priced meal. I believe there were some pricing questions about axe throwing as well. I don't know if you have any answers there, AJ.
Yeah, of course I do. We offer several different packages. If it's a date night, couple people, 1 to 3 people, we offer 1 hour. 1 hour typically ranges between $20 and $25. And more than 4 people, you're going to be looking at a 2-hour experience, and that's going to be with a private coach, and you get the whole experience. That ranges between $30 and $38 for the 2-hour experience. Now, we are also going to be running happy hour specials and working with Lane in the restaurant to make it a destination spot.
Awesome.
Mr. Lane.
Can I just say to you that one of our past ex-council members goes axe throwing. Our future Main Street manager goes axe throwing, and they're both females. So I would dare to say you have the past, the present, and the future axe throwing.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll have to get everybody in there when we open.
Exciting.
Yeah, the first meeting in
Yes.
person will be throwing axes.
Wonderful.
Madam President,
Do they bounce back?
No, and I'll tell you, go on YouTube, you'll see some fun clips. The way we build our facility prevents it. So no, the answer to that question, if it comes back at you, you did something real wrong.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
Elaine,
Yes.
is either a yes or no, or I'm going to. Do you have the money to finish this project?
Yes.
It's on, that's all I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to axe throwing. Eating
Yes.
axe throwing.
Yes.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, AJ. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you all.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Next up will be the Friends Association.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. I want to start out by saying this is well past our bedtime. I don't know how you all do this every other week, and we have to be in Judge Hines' court tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. sharp for eviction court. I'm Jennifer Lopez. I'm the executive director at Friends Association, and I'd ask the Sharps to join us and to speak first because it's their property that we're speaking about. So Fred and Renee, you're on mute.
There we are. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I just wanted, thanks for inviting us. It's certainly a long time coming, this vision that is not solely ours, quite frankly, and we're very happy to be partnering, well, to be a part of the Friends Association vision. A few years, we've been in Coatesville for almost 20 years now. And the whole of the time we've been here working in human services and working with families and individuals, getting our hands really immersed in the history and culture of Coatesville. We've grown to love it, to love the city, and to love the people in the city. And our home has always been a place where people can come for restoration and transformation. Several people who are not a member of our, our cellular family, our nuclear family rather, have come through the doors, and we've had the honor of being a part of their journey. So a few years ago, about 4 years ago, when our youngest left the nest, we knew that that legacy needed to continue. And as we were thinking about how we wanted to contribute to the building of Coatesville and Coatesville Rising, we knew that it was important that individuals were nourished and that families were nourished, because that would build neighborhoods and that would build community, and that never stopped. So for several years, it was just Fred and I walking around that house, walking around this very large house, waiting for an opportunity to emerge that would strengthen the community and build families. And so we were very excited when we found that Friends Association had the vision, that Jennifer Lopez and the leadership and the board at Friends Association had the vision to develop a program which would offer that same kind of transformation and reunification to families that would help to build up this community that we all love so much. And as a sociologist, I know that very much of my studies and what I teach has to do with, what works. I do a lot of research into what works and what doesn't work. And what we found is, there are some public-private ventures that work, but the most successful ventures were ones that tended to be privately funded and also supported by the community and by a lot of volunteers, which Friends has. And we definitely understood that it had to be a holistic model. And we had no idea. We thought about doing it ourselves and realized it was way past the scope of two people, and way too important to our community and to the world, quite frankly, because one person can change the entire world. And for Friends Association to come and share their vision with us, we were very happy to be a part of that. So.
Thank you, Renee. That's, beautiful words, and we appreciate your support. So Friends Association is a 200-year-old nonprofit serving Chester County that's focused on solutions to family homelessness. Over hundreds of families each year experience the trauma of homelessness in the wealthiest county in Pennsylvania, 23rd wealthiest in the nation. And we have a really bold vision for change, and we believe in the power of our neighbors coming together to create more equitable change for families. Our innovative programs focus on 4 key areas: preventing homelessness, providing emergency shelter, partnering with families to support stabilization, and promoting systemic change. And it was part of that vision and those bold ideas that drew us to Fred and Renee and the partnership with them, and the vision for Nia House, which is at their home at 572 East Lincoln Highway, where we intend to keep it as a family dwelling to support women who are returning from incarceration with their children. So we hope to restore women to themselves, quite frankly, after the trauma of incarceration, rebuild them as members of our community and reunify them with their children and restore the bonds of motherhood. We'll be providing safe, cost-free, stable environment for women and their children to reunite, and they will live as a family unit together in the residence. Right now, there are 56 women incarcerated at Chester County Prison. The numbers are quite low because of COVID-19. 16 of them hail from the Coatesville area and will be returning to Coatesville. There were over 300 paroles from Chester County Prison in 2019. And if we look at about 29% of the women in the system being from the Coatesville area, that's almost 100 women that would return to Coatesville after their parole. You may not see us a lot in Coatesville, but 85% of the families that we serve reside in the city of Coatesville. So our case managers do most of their work in their home. We really see this as part of aligning the social capital with the physical asset revitalization of the city. It's the human infrastructure piece and really promoting the social cohesion and mutual support as the city revitalizes, and really strengthening the civic infrastructure. There's a leadership component of Nia House, and where we hope that women will be the voices for the systems that have impacted their lives, and the voices of change. And with that being said, we invited Alicia Buchanan. Alicia, I hope you're still on the line to speak about her experience.
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
We,
Go ahead.
Hi, Alicia.
Hello.
There's a lot of background noise.
Okay, hold on. It's the TV. Hold on.
Mr. Logan, if you will, how much time is left?
Hold on, I have to use the phone. Okay, I'll turn it back over.
I'm sorry.
Hello, I'm sorry.
The timing, how much time?
Okay, I'm sorry.
1 second, please.
Okay. Go.
We have about 10 more minutes. The presentations are usually, we give each presenter between 10 and roughly 15 minutes. So we started at 8:15, so they have another, what is it now? How about 10 minutes?
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, I won't be long.
Take your time, love.
Okay, so my name is Alicia and Buchanan. I was born and raised in Coatesville, and I am a mother of 2 boys. Like, it's hearing about the Nia House is bittersweet because it's so much needed, but I also wish that it existed 4 years ago when I was released from prison. Some of the conditions that led me to incarceration years ago are like the same conditions that I'm still going through today. and it still impacts my life every day. And my life can be, a struggle when it comes to housing and employment. Like that's just, the major problem that I have with, my life right now. And I feel like the Nia House will be a good experience for the girls to come out and actually have that, there's some people that don't have family and there's some that does, but it will really work for, to be on your own. I feel like that will be a good support for people. It will be nice. I don't want to keep you guys.
Thank you. We
You're welcome.
appreciate the opportunity to, to be welcome to present before you tonight. And we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
You said you bring young ladies from prison. Is that correct?
Correct.
So what is your relationship with the police in the communities?
Well, we will certainly work in cooperation with the police. We have a relationship with the Chester County Adult Probation and Parole Department. I was the deputy chief there for 29 years. I retired to lead Friends Association 2 years ago, and the jail as well. So most of our referrals for women returning will come from the jail and the probation department. I think that at one point, Sergeant Ollis, now Lieutenant Ollis, had reached out about doing some work at the house and helping us restore the building.
Madam President, you said at the beginning of your speech, you said we was the richest in the county, and we was 23rd nationally. But we're the poorest city in the county. And I hear what you're saying. I just got on city council 3 years ago. We was in almost chapter 47. Nobody wanted to help us. State was going to come in and take it. We voted on this about 2 years ago. I am not changing my vote. I hear what you're saying, but the city needs income. And you can't give me that. These residents are starving for businesses. I'm a nonprofit. Everybody wants to come to Coatesville. You know why? It's cheap. That's what they got in their head. Cheap stops here. We're not cheap anymore. Right now, we can't afford it. Maybe they can, but I know from what I saw 3 years ago to today, we can't afford it. That's all I have to say. You go on with your program, but this city needs tax base or we ain't gonna grow.
That's understood. And we are not moving our operations. We're just running the program. So we're leasing from the Sharp, so it remains on the tax rolls. We also hope that the residents there will be part of the income. We had a meeting with the owners of St. Cecilia's to talk to them about employment opportunities. We are looking at the key areas that affect women's return to incarceration, and we're hoping to stop them in their tracks. And that's safe and stable housing, economic empowerment, jobs, building skills, healing from their trauma, and reunifying with their children. This is a different vision. It is, not another nonprofit coming into the city. It is running a program, restoring citizens to their community, and just providing the support that they need with that very much in mind.
Yes. I would like to, I'm sorry, Mr. Folks, will you finish?
No, it is a great idea. Don't get me wrong on that. But we're broke. Can somebody help us out there? Because we're broke. Come on, people. I have no.
Thank you, Mr. Folk. If I could, first, I would like to disclose that I'm employed by Friends for a full and ethical disclosure. I do think that transformative justice is coming to this community, and I'm really excited to about the work that's being done in this city. And the most important part of revitalization for me is the opportunity to revitalize our people, and how we treat our unhoused, our incarcerated, our addicted, and our unemployed is really an indictment on the way and on our ability to revitalize our community in a way that is sustainable, not only for buildings and businesses, but for the members of this community who have poured into this community to make it what it is. I will ask you guys the same questions that I ask every entity that comes to Coatesville: is what is your community benefit of being in Coatesville, and also why Coatesville?
Well, I think we answered the question why just based on the numbers of the women that are incarcerated and on community supervision and being paroled. There's a need. We have Alicia, who so heartfully shared her personal story, and 30 years of me being in the system. On one end of it, I saw it over and over again. I saw the struggle of family reunification and the shame around not being there for your kids and not being a mother to them, and then trying to reunify and coming out. Quite frankly, most women come out to nothing. There's not an apartment in their name. There's not a job. Someone else has been caring for your kids. So, the numbers, the stories, that's the why. We're making capital investments in the property at 572 East Lincoln Highway. We've gotten support to do that. So it's the structure, it's the human beings inside of it, it's the neighbors, it's, we see this as expanding out, that, we're putting the investments into Coatesville, into that property that will, be there forever. And we also, again, are going to support the women in economic empowerment so that they can find jobs with livable wages so that they can pay their rent. And we really hope that this spreads throughout the community. And we hope to, serve other communities as well with a similar model.
Thank you. And thank you so much for your presentation. And thank you, Alicia, for your vulnerability and sharing your story.
You're welcome.
Madam President.
Yes,
if I may.
please.
Just real quick, what is the zoning there?
Yeah, sure. We have Lori Kemps is the attorney from Lentz Cantor, Mass. Yeah, Renee and Fred, you dealt with the zoning and codes. I don't know if you want to jump in.
Well, when we first started this, when it was first presented to us as an opportunity to work together last year, back in October, is when we started to present the project plan and ask questions, and were very transparent and open and did everything and anything that was asked of us to do from then up until this point. So that is, that is our contribution to the project.
But I understand it, but what is it zoned as? Is that a residential district?
It is.
I still have to go to the zoning hearing board, I think.
It is zone neighborhood. What is that?
R10, I think.
Well, it's covered by, as I was told by codes, it's covered by neighborhood commercial. I know I'm saying it wrong.
I'm gonna say, if I may, it is neighborhood commercial 1 zoned, and anything that would be available there is also available, would be available in an RN4 zoning district.
So is this going to require a variance?
We do not believe so, no.
Yes, I think so.
Would have to.
Or did they go to the people that live on that street and around the areas and tell them that this is going to be a house for, women getting out of jail?
Absolutely, absolutely. Unfortunately, there are not enough homeowners in this city, and there are only 5 homeowners on this block. And so it's very important to us that we share it with our neighbors and some of the tenants, even though, you know, they come and go, what was going to happen. Because for one thing, we wanted their feedback. You don't start any venture without asking and getting data, you know, from the people who live around you. And they were extremely supportive because they know that there's a lot of building going on and Coatesville is rising, but there needs to be investment not only in the infrastructure and in the economy, but in the people, because there's not been enough. And that's why we're such a poor city, and we should not be. And that is what we heard resoundingly and what resonated with the neighbors that we spoke to, not just on the block, but around the block. And we also talked to influencers and people in the surrounding townships as well, just to get feedback, because we don't want to hurt our city that we love.
I have a question.
Do you think they have to go to the zoning hearing board?
Yeah, I think, thank you, Councilwoman Green. And then I think Councilwoman Alameen and Council President's after her.
I just have one quick question. So Renee and Fred, you actually own the home and you're going to be renting it to the Friends Association as a rental property or a business property?
As a rental property. The women who come through, well, Jennifer can speak more to how the program is going to be laid out, but it'll certainly be a rental property, not a business property.
Okay, so Mr. Logan, I guess I have a question for you. So on rental properties, when you have non-relatives living together, does not that require a boarding house license? Or I guess I'm not understanding the whole demographics of, because it is a rental property, is it going to be run as a business? Is it going to be run as a boarding house? And for
I think
either
the
business
determination-
or boarding house, would it not need variance, and would they not be required to have certain things like, you know, as a business, the sprinkler system and?
Right, I think the determination for this property has not been determined yet. I mean, if it is a group home, let's say, we'll need a zoning variance. Also, that may be limited to 5. Our solicitors is on the call this evening. Anthony, did you want to add anything to that? I know this is just a presentation also to get information. So I don't want to get too deep in this. I think if questions need to be answered offline, I'd be happy to do that along with Jennifer. But Anthony, do you want to just comment on the potential zoning variance?
Well, Mr. Logan, I think there's a couple issues. That's going to ultimately be the call of the zoning officer. That's who's responsible for making those determinations. He or she will have to determine what the use is. If it's, for example, a group home, that would probably require a variance because it requires a single detached structure as opposed to one that's attached, or a duplex. So there may be issues. Also, when there's a change in use under the building codes, that'd be something for the code officer to address, whether to require fire suppression systems and those kind of things. So those are going to be things that will be up to the city's codes and zoning officers to make determinations on whether, for instance, variances will be required for zoning.
All right, thank you.
Councilwoman Alameen, were you through?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I yield the floor back.
No problem. My question is for you, Ms. Lopez. How many halfway houses does Friends Association currently run, and where are they located?
So this isn't a halfway house. It's more considered group quarters where if you were to look up a new way of life reentry, that's the model that we're following. So the women live together, supporting one another as one family unit.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I understand that. I just want to know, how many are you currently running and where are they located?
We run an emergency family shelter in Westchester in the borough.
But no group shelters, so to speak.
No.
Thank you, that's all.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from council? Very well. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Have
time.
a blessed evening. Okay. Discussion on our meeting minutes. Are there any questions, comments, or discussions regarding them?
Nope.
Seeing as there is none, we're going to move forward into our citizens' hearings on regular action items. And during this time, I just want to reiterate that there are 3 minutes available to you to speak, get your point across. And at that time, I would request that if you are through your live chat, please give us your name and address as well as your question or comment so we can address it. Ms. Malday, do we have any action item comment? Ruth Ann? Mr. Logan?
He's muted.
Yes. Let me check with Ruth Ann. She might be on a. Ruth Ann, are you there? I can hear her. But she's not coming through.
We're live, y'all.
Hold on 1 second. She's not coming through. One moment. Do we have any citizens here?
In the meantime, good evening, everyone.
Madam President, we do have 2 citizen comments, but I just want to make sure. One is from Paul Evans. Paul, is your comment for regarding regular action items, or is that non-action items?
I wanted to speak about the group home.
Okay, that would be a non-action item.
Oh, okay. Catch you later then.
In a few minutes. And I think there was also, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, Jamila Harris, but hers is for the group home too.
I think Ms. Reason, was yours for a regular action item? Was that a non-agenda item?
Mine's a non.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
So no, none at all.
No citizens hearing remarks for regular action items.
Very
I make a motion to close.
I'll second.
Thank you.
I'll second.
That was Ms. Green, Ms. Hunt.
Okay.
Questions, comment? Full council, please.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
excuse me, Councilwoman Lavender Norris.
Yes,
7-0 carries. Thank you.
thank you. On to our regular action item 7.1. Receive and consider a motion for second reading and adoption of an ordinance authorizing the city of Coatesville to lease the city's property located at 120 Pratt's Dam Road, West Brandywine Township, the County of Chester, UPI number 29-8-5.5, to Protect Energy Solutions LLC for purposes of constructing and operating a solar energy generation facility for a 20-year term with options for 2 5-year extensions, with an annual rental payment of not less than $40,000 for the first 3 years of the term, an annual 1% escalation of rents in each subsequent year, beginning in year 4, and payment of rents commencing at the start of construction of the solar facility, with a lump sum payment of the first 3 years of rent, and continuing annually thereafter, beginning in year 4 on an anniversary date thereof, for the remaining term of the lease, including any extension. Could I get a motion?
So
make
moved.
them.
That was
Second.
Councilwoman Alameen and Councilwoman Green.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you would, please, Mr. Logan, just expound a little bit regarding this.
Well, I thought you did a great job.
You did.
I don't know if I can expand anymore on that one.
Okay, well, okay, that's fine. Full council then.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lavender Norris.
Yes.
7-0 carries. Thank you.
Thank you. 7.2, receive and consider a motion to approve a resolution approving the sale of the property owned by the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Coatesville to the IDG Development LLC pursuant to the Urban Redevelopment Law. Could I get a motion?
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Questions or comments?
Can we have this expanded on?
Mr. Verway, would you like to expand on this, please?
Certainly. Under the the Redevelopment Authority has proposed a sale to IDG Development, and that sale involves both the sale but also the development of the property that most people know as the flats. Under the Urban Redevelopment Law, the City of Coatesville has to authorize that sale. And the city's role in that process is to review the agreement to make sure that it is in the economic interests of the city for the RDA to have that sale and redevelopment proposal, both in the form of whether it will generate tax revenue for the city ultimately, create jobs, and be an economic driver within the city of Coatesville, and also eliminate blight. In this case, the elimination of a empty and vacant lot. The city council has had an opportunity to review the agreements that were prepared and drafted between the RDA and the IDG development with the input of their city solicitor. And now before the council tonight is whether to approve those agreements and that sale.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
No, I just want to thank the RDA for sitting down and making this right because of the Petrus. We went through that, and now they tighten up the screws on these guys, and I'm very proud of that team to bring this to our table. Thanks, Zeke.
Thank you, Mr. Folks. I wish we could have had this to the city council earlier, but as you just said, we learned our lesson with what happened there on First Avenue. This agreement took a lot longer to negotiate, to memorialize. We wanted to include Mr. Verway from the beginning so that he could make comments as the agreement went forward, so that all parties were comfortable before we moved forward with this thing. And I appreciate council taking the time to review it and consider it.
Welcome.
I thank you. I think I've read these agreements till my eyes crossed. I was so sick. But I'm grateful because it also showed that you did your due diligence.
Yeah.
And, you know, like was mentioned earlier, we've had some experiences and they taught us. I don't even want to call them a mistake because we learned from them. So thank you for your due diligence. And we just look forward to the next big project.
Mr. President?
It's the biggest piece of property that the RDA own. We would certainly like to see this go the route of 190.
Absolutely.
Versus what happened on First Avenue. You know, from First Avenue, we learned some things, and 190 is moving along very nicely. We would like to see the flats follow the same path. We certainly like to see it, as Mr. Folk says, an economic generator, but also as a benefit to the community, because these fellows intend on programs for the children, and it's something for them to do and get the kids off the street and give them a place to go and see some things that they may have never seen before, like the bicycling and things like that.
Hey, Zeke?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you just, for the audience, tell that your board, the name, the people that's on your board, who's behind this?
Well, the RDA consists of 5 people. It's Jack Burkholder, Tyrone Harley, Ricky Campbell, Joe Canner, and myself. And we've been working and kicking this thing around since last fall to try and get it right. Of course, you know, you have to remember we had 3 attorneys involved also, the solicitor for the RDA, the solicitor for the developer, and the solicitor for the city. So, you know, everybody had to feel comfortable. But I really look forward to this moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from council? Very well. Poll council, please, Mr. Logan.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
No.
Councilwoman Elamine,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Lavender Norris.
Yes.
6-1 carries.
Thank you.
I would like to thank council. This is a big load off my mind that we got this thing finally moving along.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Zeke.
Thank you and have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. You also.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zeke. Have a good night.
7.3, receive and consider a motion to approve a resolution adopting a policy for its recording of public meetings. Could I get a motion?
So moved.
I'll
Second.
second.
Sorry, who's second?
Give it to Mr. Folks.
Okay, Mr. Logan, please briefly expound on this.
Once again, I will turn to our solicitor, Mr. Gurway.
Evening. The resolution is designed to address an issue with the use of Zoom and YouTube for council meetings. There's a large number of recordings made, and there really is nothing in place to handle the retention policy for these recordings. This resolution addresses that. It places the responsibility on the manager to handle the retention of these recordings. And what will happen is they need to be made available once they're recorded on the city website, which they currently are. They'll be maintained for a period that ends 2 weeks after the adoption of the minutes of a meeting. So, for example, tonight's meeting is being recorded. At the next council meeting, you'll approve tonight's minutes. 2 weeks from that meeting in 2 weeks, the recording would be deleted and removed from the files. That frees up space on the servers that the city uses. It also decreases the challenges that may be faced in for example, a right to know request, where you might have to sift through a lot of recordings. So this is going to address all that record retention issues for the city.
Thank you, sir. Are there questions from council?
Not a question, I just
Or
have a comment.
I'm
So,
sorry.
as it is for these recorded meetings, individuals, they'll still be able to watch it for up to 2 weeks. Versus if we were in City Hall in public, they'd be at the meeting and then that would be it. So folks will still have the ability to view the meetings until the meeting minutes from the particular meeting are approved, correct?
Actually, they'll be able to view them for 2 weeks after the minutes are adopted. So you'll have about a 4-week period to watch a meeting.
Okay, thank you for that.
Are there any other comments?
I have one. If someone else recorded the meeting that wasn't an entity of the city, will we be responsible for addressing like the recordings in right to knows or anything like that?
Not if they're an individual, not if the city or a contractor with the city. If a citizen comes in and films a meeting, that's their property. The city has no role or control in the retention of that recording.
Okay, because I do know that folks like to go back and like look at the recording. It's a little bit more accessible to folks than the meeting minutes, especially with people with like literacy issues and things like that. And so if someone just happened to take over recording the meeting so they would stay recorded, we wouldn't have like the legal issue of retaining the meetings through the city.
If an individual came in and recorded the meeting and wanted to store that somewhere and make it available, they certainly could do.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. Poll council, please. Excuse me.
Councilman Simpson,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilperson Grace,
No.
Councilwoman Green,
You keep muting me. Stop muting me. Yes,
I'm not muting.
it says the vote every time.
Councilwoman Lavender North.
Yes.
6-1 carry. Thank you.
Councilwoman, Council President, Madam President.
Yes,
All right, it's, as you know, 3 a.m. comes off early, so I'm
certainly.
checking out again, and I'll see you guys at the next meeting.
One
All right,
more action item, please.
Oh, we
and
have
we're-
4? I thought there was 3.
No, one more.
Okay.
Receive and consider a motion to approve the Vision Partnership Program grant and contract. Could I get a motion?
I make that move. I'll second it.
Questions or comments? Poll council,
Can you-
please.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Graves.
Sorry, Mr. Logan, can you explain the 7.4 for the public?
Sure. The purpose of the Vision Partnership Grant is to provide funding for the City of Coatesville planning projects and implement goals and objectives recommended or recommendations and map the landscape street. So what we're doing here is the city received funding to work with our city engineer in Cedarville and LTL to amend our zoning ordinance. This is something that municipalities and cities do and townships do from time to time. In addition to our city engineer and our LTL consultants, our solicitor will also be involved in this. And the intention is to update the City of Coatesville zoning ordinance in accordance with the current planning practices.
And we began this endeavor when?
Let's see, we should be, once this application, or I should say, once this
No,
contract.
I'm saying, when did we start
Oh,
working on this?
well, the application process started probably almost a year ago, I think.
Okay.
So it's a lot of things that we need to do to update our zoning ordinances, and this is the first step in that direction.
Very well. Any other questions or comments? Full council, please.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
yes.
Councilman Simpson.
Yes.
Good night to you. Councilwoman Lavender.
Yes.
7-0 carries. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right.
Good night, Ed.
Thanks.
Okay, so that does it for regular action items. Could I get a motion to close?
So moved.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
I did.
Councilwoman Alameen
I
Thank
second.
you.
And Councilman Folks.
Thank you.
Full council.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lavender Norris.
Yes,
6-0 carries.
very well. We're on to our report, Mr. Verway.
Thank you, Madam President. Since our last meeting, I've worked on zoning and land development issues on behalf of the city, addressed personnel and pension issues, provided guidance on certain permitting issues, and I've worked on leasing and real estate matters on behalf of the city. Other issues that have been addressed were discussed more fully in our executive session and are subject to attorney-client privilege. So I'm providing a general overview of what I've worked on since the last meeting. Unless there are any questions, that is my report.
Are there any questions for Mr. Verway? Very well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Mr. Logan?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. It's a couple of items on the business and economic development front. The City of Coatesville train station project is moving forward. We are awaiting updates from PennDOT and Amtrak on the construction bid packet. There was a slight delay in the process due to some on-site planning reviews and approvals. So, you know, the stops and starts have put back the project. Now we're looking at the bid packet to roll out probably in, well, it will hopefully roll out in June. So we've suffered some setbacks. We were looking or anticipating this to happen in the first quarter. It looks like it's not going to happen until the second quarter, and that's the bid packet. That's not construction or anything like that. So we anticipate a June, you know, kind of notification on that. Onto the flats, you heard a little bit earlier this evening. That process will begin. Thank you, Council, for your vote of confidence to move forward with this. If completed with any barriers, we hope to see some construction movement on the flats, hopefully in late 2022. On to the community update. On April 10th, many of you know that we had our second job fair in the city of Coatesville. That was with Morgan Truck Company out of Morgantown. The event was held here at City Hall. I want to tip my hat to Brady Baglin and his team. They came out, they set everything up. We had 28 interviews. Of the 28 interviews, 24 offers were made. Excuse me. And again, just want to thank their team and crew that came out. Also thanks to the members of the City Council that attended. It was great seeing President Lavender Norris, Vice President Carmen Green, and special thanks to Mr. Folks for helping me throughout the day. He came in early, he set it up with me, and he hung in there after 2 o'clock, after 3 o'clock. I think the barbecue truck parked in front had something to do with it. But it was nice to have him there. And also, State Representative Dan Williams came by to say hello. And I just want to give a first shout out to the man that was doing on-site kind of broadcast, and that's Alphonse Newswan. He came out, he gave us his time, which he often does, helping us get this information out about getting jobs to individuals here in Coatesville. And also just want to mention that, you know, Morgan provided this opportunity for individuals to not only get training, but also when you start there, the advancement sequence is just tremendously fast. Within 6 months, you can be bumped up to the next level. Their starting salary, which some of you may have heard, is $14.95 an hour. That's right at the livable wage if you're a single person, and it's very competitive in the market that we live in today. So they came right out the bat with wonderful benefits and perks to get people into the Morgan Company organization. They're still accepting applications. If you go to our website, I think we still have the information up there. You can just look at the jobs. The type of jobs that are available are manufacturing assemblers, welders, machine operators, material handlers, and service technicians. And again, if you're listening, if you know someone that can use a great job, go to our website and get more information on that. Moving right along, we have a couple of things coming up for the city of Coatesville. We're pleased to announce that we are reuniting with Kutztown University to launch this year's entrepreneur program planned for this summer. We have also partnered with SCORE to provide mentor and practical tools for individuals and participants in this program. This program will run between 6 and 9 weeks, followed by a series of community pop-ups like we did last year. If you came out last year, you know that the pop-up was incredible, was received very well from our community. And we're very excited that we will be able to offer that again this year. And as an added feature, what we like to do is partner with our other local small businesses that may want to join the pop-ups. Last year, I didn't really get a chance to incorporate some of the existing entrepreneurs here in the city. Many of them are in Midway Arts, but also we have a number of them that are just maybe working out of their kitchens or their churches or their garages. So we certainly want to invite them to be part of our pop-ups this year. And speaking of pop-ups, I know it's a little bit tricky to talk about outdoor gatherings because we still have a concern about COVID. Our numbers are rising. Our numbers are rising, and that's because we're not out of the woods yet. And it may be some time before COVID is fully behind us, but in the meantime, the city will continue to encourage residents to social distance themselves, take precautions by wearing masks and washing hands and using sanitizers. When we're looking at what the governor is asking us to do in terms of our outdoor numbers, the city of Coatesville is adhering to those policies and practices. And that's why the outdoor gatherings, when we have them, we're going to ensure that we are following the proper guidelines. As I said, it's a little tricky, but I think if we follow the guidelines, stay true to the course, we should be okay when we introduce these outdoor events. Later this year, we hope to host a number of outdoor events, including food festivals, pop-ups, music festivals, and more. And we recognize and know you guys all want to get out, especially our young people, and soon we'll be able to get out there and be back to normal in Coatesville. I, along with council, will continue to push for change and steps to improve the quality of life in the city, but we have to do this together, and I think we can. Last thing I just want to share with everyone, this office, the City Hall, is always open to hear your thoughts, ideas, and issues. Oftentimes we hear just kind of the negative, but I just want to tell everyone that's listening, this is a wonderful city. There's a lot of positive things going on, and not just on the economic development side. There are new programs coming in, there are youth initiatives that are being launched. And I just hope that, people, if you gravitated into certain things, whatever your passion is, we're there for you. We're there to support you. My role is to help and bring my role is to help bring the best and the brightest ideas to our city council members, and I can only do that with your support. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Houston. However, got one more thing, Chip. I do want to just plant a seed for council beginning in June. The food bank is going to be extending their services. It will come to you at the next city council meeting, but I just wanted to share with you, because of their success here in the city of Coatesville, by popular demand, they've been asked to come in for another day and even a weekend. So they're going to be extending their hours not only at the library, which right now is from on Wednesdays from 10 to 12, but they will be moving to our gravel lot, which we've already discussed that, from 2:30 to 4:30. But they're looking to maybe add a day, which will be a weekend for the first time. And we'll get more details for that on the April 26th meeting. And I think that is all I have. Thank you.
I have a quick question before Mr. Houston. With
Sure.
regard to the food bank and their extension or added times, how will that affect or conflict with the normal or the brick and mortar businesses? Thank you. The brick and mortar businesses that are currently operating.
I don't think there's going to be a conflict at all. What the food, or I should say Food Bank of Fresh to You truck brings is fresh produce from some of our local gardens, for community gardens and farms. And one of the things about the program is, for those individuals who are purchasing the food from the Fresh to You truck, they know that they're getting some fresh vegetables and fruits. The other nice thing about this program is they do accept the SNAP one for EBT and farmer markets checks. So one of the things that Fresh to You truck will be doing is offering, I would say, maybe a little bit more affordable food so they can take home. But also it does kind of address the issue that we have in Coatesville, which is the need for fresh produce and fresh food. This is a food desert that we are experiencing here in Coatesville. And for the individuals that will tap into this service, I think it would be a great benefit for them. So I don't see any competition or any issues with the existing businesses here in the city.
Very well. I actually patronize the Fresh to You truck myself. I appreciate the fresh produce. So, thank you. Mr. Houston, you're up.
Hi, good evening, everybody. As usual, we will start off with the COVID numbers. First up is an email we received from the health department on Friday, notifying the community that the county has received its first shipment of Johnson & Johnson vaccine, along with first and second doses of Moderna and first doses of Pfizer. Specifically, they received Johnson & Johnson 21,000 doses, 5,000 first and second doses of Moderna, and 2,340 doses of Pfizer. More doses, according to the county, means more vaccine clinics and extended clinic hours, and more doses also mean more opportunities to schedule an appointment. So because of this, the county health department has opened vaccine eligibility to all phases, everyone age 16 and over who lives or works in Chester County. So now we're wide open for kids over 16. There is a county notice that's out on their website if you want to see more of the information that they got for it. As far as Coatesville's numbers, we were up 47 new cases since our last meeting. Now, that was about 3 weeks of time, but we had no new deaths. So we are holding at 15, where we were back in March. The county as a whole is reporting 32,700 cases, up 2,900, with an increase of 13 deaths to 752. So that's a quick COVID report from the county. Some things going on. We've talked about this. This Saturday, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, Ash Park will be run over by the Natural Lands Trust as they are unveiling the proposal for the park renovations for feedback from the community. So if you do have an opportunity to get out there from 1 to 3, there will be a QR code. You'll be able to click on your phone and do feedback that way, or you can go into their website and do feedback as well. A concern that we've addressed is beginning the 25th, which is the week after next, we have contracted with Veterans Construction to repair sidewalks around the park, specifically 3rd, 4th, and Kersey Streets. So that work will begin in 2 weeks. From a codes department, I think you'll notice that with our kind of beefed up staff with Stacia, Mary, Andrew, and Steve, we are getting out more. We are trying to meet the people, trying to have conversations with where our codes are. Our lead contractor interface is obviously Stacia, so she meets the contractors when they come in for plans and paying their contractor fees. Mary and Andrew are quality of life, and they are out looking down the streets, looking for codes violations and tagging them if they need to. One quick FAQ that kind of came up in talking to Mary, the event of an abandoned vehicle, the property owner is the first point of contact. We don't necessarily know, 1, who owns the car, and 2, who's renting from that house. So the property owner is the one that we put the first tag on for. And then they may be able to come back to the city and say, hey, it's not my car, and we'll go from there. Public Works is on spring cleanup as the weather is warming up quickly. Well, it wasn't today, but that's okay. We have already had 1 yard waste pickup and planning for another in May. Eagle Disposal has reminded us that they will pick up 1 bulk item per residence. And you may also put an extra bag out so long as you keep it up against your tote. Don't put it in grass, don't put it in the sidewalk or the alley. Put it with your tote and Eagle will grab that bag. Eagle will not pick up random bags of trash. One thing on parking, we had some questions from some of our residents. According to the code, metered parking begins at 8 a.m. and runs until 6 p.m. So if you park after 6 p.m., you can basically stay in your spot until 8 in the morning. You just need to be out by the time our parking authority or parking lady gets out there and tickets you. There are also parking permits available at $25 a month if you're so inclined to just go ahead and pay for a permanent parking spot in the city. Also on the 17th, Arts Holding Hands and Hearts. Gotta say that, you say that too fast. Arts Holding Hands and Hearts is having a Coatesville community cleanup. It will also run from 1 to 3. The rain date will be Sunday from 1 to 3. They're meeting at Coatesville Community Garden at 3rd and Lincoln. They will scatter along Lincoln Highway to clean up litter. They have about 25 people scheduled to come out. It is a direct result of the goal to keep the area surrounding the AHHAH pop-up lending libraries litter free. So that will be Saturday from 1 to 3. So if you want to say hello to the group from AHHAH, I can't say that all the time, then you can then walk up to Ash Park and be able to see what's going on at the park for the unveiling. So that is my report for this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Houston, I have a question for you, if I may.
Sure.
So the yard waste pickup, that's every 2 weeks on Wednesday? I heard you say there'll be another one in May. Is there a reason there isn't a second one in April?
Right now, what Jules is telling me is they're going to be the second Wednesday of the month. So it's going to be once a month to start, and then hopefully we'll pick up as we go along. That's what I got from our public works guys. So
can you find out when that changed? Because
sure,
it's always been twice a month, every other Wednesday, and that's what I've been telling people. So
sure thing.
I was not aware that changed.
I will let you know.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Houston, they have to call in for that yard waste, right?
Yes, they have to schedule and I'll pick up with Jules.
Yeah.
And how much are the parking permits?
$25 a month.
Good question, Mr. Houston. I'm really interested in the yard waste and our ability to be able to use our yard waste as compost. Is there a place where we can pick up or purchase the yard waste once it's turned into compost as a city, a kind of a sustainable program that closes the loop so we don't have to go out and buy compost from other places?
There is. We actually share a depot with South Coatesville, Valley, Modena. We all take stuff up, grind it up, and then we leave it there. So sometimes you can go get stuff. Other times Weaver Mulch will come along and take it. So it's kind of catch as catch can when you get there, and whether there's something there you can put in a truck or in a trailer. But
okay. And is it a small cost or is it free?
You know, Jules told me, and I will let you know. I apologize.
Okay.
It's, unless they change that, Mr. Houston, it's free.
Okay.
You have to pick it up though, but
right.
There's never been a fee for it. Just like if you drop stuff there, there's no fee for it either.
Okay.
Unless that changed too.
Still learning as I go. So
yeah, it's free. It's still free.
It's garden season, everybody, and they are making rich compost that you can get for free. So
yep, I'll double check with Jules tomorrow.
I frequent the compost spot a lot last year, and it was a matter of we took yard waste up, and while we were there, you could get compost, you could get dirt, whatever you need that's there. you're welcome to it. You have to load it yourself.
Yep.
But it's there for you if you want it.
Whatever the
At
5
no
municipalities put up there is what you're open for.
And if like each municipality has a weekend where they can come up to the spot and drop off or pick up whatever you like.
I'll
One
double
more
check.
time, the address just for the community.
Oh
It's
boy.
It's
I know
Upper
it's-
Gap Road in
It's in Medina.
Modena.
Okay.
I'll get you an address. I will take this whole checklist and get you an email tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam President, before we turn it over to Chief Walker, I did have two other items that I'm sorry that I forgot to share with everyone. The first one is Urban Outfitters. They are hosting another hiring event Wednesday, April 21st, from 1 to 6 p.m. As a kind of bonus for this particular program, they have a new starting wage, which is up to $16.12 an hour.
Wow.
Various shifts and warehouse associate positions are available for this. You can apply online. We will have this posted tomorrow morning. I just got this today. So we'll have it posted on our website. And once again, that's Urban Outfitters, Wednesday, April 21st from 1 to 6. The other item, something that Chief and I received about a week or so ago. And this is something that some of you may have seen them in town. Some of you may not have seen them in town. But it's a group of motorcyclists. They are called the Tour of Honor. This is an organization that they tour various monuments throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
And they tour our nation's, recognizing our heroes and contribute to a few of the charities. Well, this year in the state of Pennsylvania, our very own steel mill location that has the tridents is designated as one of those memorial sites. And so throughout the summer, we will have visitors coming in from all over, stopping to see those tridents. And it's a wonderful program. You go online to Tour of Honor to look up some of the things that they do. But we were notified that the tour started this month. And last count, there was over 1,000 riders registered for this year's tour. So just want to let you all know that you see some motorcycles coming through town, stopping over at the Gateway area. They're part of the Tour of Honor program. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief.
Thank you, Madam President. Included in the packet tonight for council were our monthly statistics for March, just a couple of highlights. Our total 911 calls for service for the month of March were 1,773. That was up from 1,197 in February, being a shorter month, and then still up from January where we had 1,429 calls for service through Chester County 911. And then total calls for service, which include everything that is received here at the police department front desk, we were at 2,551 calls for service for the month of March, up from 1995 in February and 2306 in January. Also, for the month of March, we had 3 Narcan saves by our officers. We had 3 car seats provided with installation and education on how to properly install the car seats and utilize them. We participated in 3 birthday parades here in the city in support of our residents. I know we mentioned previously, but it was in the month of March that we received our congressional commendation from Chrissy Houlihan's office on March the 5th. just recognizing our commitment to the community as a police department. Also in March, we had the second phase of our de-escalation and implicit bias training over at the Chester County Training Center. And then our second wave of that is coming up on April the 20th, after which the entire police department will have been through that training, except for 2 officers that will have to catch up because they've been unavailable. So that was training afforded through Dr. Warren, a retired captain with the Delaware State Police, who puts on an excellent presentation. Also, we had our second Q&A provided to our officers at the opposite shift change by our soon-to-be department chaplain, our Imam Jamal from our Merchant Street Mosque. He not only provided our second Q&A at shift change, but he has committed to becoming one of our department chaplains. So along with Rob Marshall from New Life in Christ, we'll have 2 additional chaplains that are going to go through the training in June at the Chester County Training Center for new chaplains. So we're excited about that, to have 2 additional chaplains working with our department and our community. Also, DEA prescription drug take-back is scheduled for April 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And our police department will be a designated collection site for DEA take-back. We have our DEA take-back and drug take-back boxes here, one down in our lobby here in the police department, and also one upstairs in the lobby main lobby for City Hall. But this is a specific weekend designated with DEA for a prescription take-back, and that's the April 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also, we attended an additional race and justice task force with the district attorney's office and the FOP in the month of March, continuing in support of that and the district attorney's wish to keep us all involved in that task force. And then also, as we observed earlier tonight in March, we had the retirement of Lieutenant Audette, and of course, the promotion of our new officers generated by Lieutenant Audette's retirement. And we once again congratulate Lieutenant Audette on 20 years of service to the city, and also our newly promoted officers. So once again, thank council for their support in recognizing Lieutenant Audette's retirement, and also for their support in promoting our officers and keeping our department properly staffed. So that's all I have tonight, unless there is any other questions.
Any other questions? Very well. On to our citizens' hearings. Okay, again, during our citizens' hearings session, you'll have 3 minutes to get your point, question, comment, concern, complaint, what have you. You have 3 minutes to get it across. And once more, I would appreciate if you would leave your name and your address along with your comment. Excuse me. I did, trying to find it. I had a question sent to, actually Ms. Malday had sent it to me. And this is from Francesca Scamuffa from up in the West End. She said, I have 2 questions. I have a question or 2 regarding the Friends Association for the meeting tonight. Do they support the local police department? And are we not sufficiently inundated with nonprofit and homeless shelters in the city? And why was our already struggling city selected?
Good question.
Unfortunately, Ms. Lopez, I think, has left the meeting. What we could do, Ms. Gamuffa, is pose that question. Mr. Logan, if you would, pose the question to Ms. Lopez and respond or reply to Ms. Gamuffa. I would greatly appreciate that.
Well, I will respond to her. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next is Mr. Evans.
You're muted, Paul. Can't hear you.
How about now, Donald?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good, man.
Madam President, City Council, I wanted to speak about a nice outreach I saw on Facebook from Equality of Life, City of Coatesville Codes person, encouraging everybody to participate and to help out. I assumed that would be to notify the city if we saw any codes violations or things that were impairing the quality of life. I wanted to make you aware that I've been in touch with the city in emails regarding what appears to be a group home. Now, Mr. Veraway did touch on the fact that a group home cannot be attached to another property, and this one is. And I think a group home can have up to 5 people living in it who are not related, who live together as a group, and they must be under an organization. So the folks who came tonight about their presentation were very transparent about what they want to do and whether or not they need a variance. If they were to need a variance, it would be up to the council to decide if it was in the best interest of the city. Now, they made, a passionate case about why they think it's important. And I know that then there are others, like the comments by Ms. Gamuffa and certain council people with concerns. Right now, we're trying to revitalize, and we already have a lot of that. But I'm not here to make comments about, my personal position on that. But I would like to talk about transparency, and I would like to talk about accountability, because I haven't heard back from anybody. And I sent this email to the city manager, and I sent it to the our codes supervisor. And I notified that I think there's about 14 people living in this house. Some are related. The rooms might be getting rented out, and that I don't believe that it is licensed with the State Department of Labor and Industry. And I don't believe they have any permits with the city or anything with the county. And I have been waiting to find out. I mean, I've sent pictures of giant pieces of cardboard laying in the front yard. There have been noise ordinance violations, people screaming, and there was vandalizing a broken window of the tenant next door. So if the codes department puts these things on Facebook and wants to encourage us to help, to keep an eye on things and to work with and to partner with, I think that they need to get back to us within a period of time that's reasonable and just give us at least a de minimis amount of information. It would lead us to believe that really there is a partnership. They really want to work with us towards improving things. These other folks came and they were very transparent, but is the city being transparent, and is the city being arbitrary enforcement where these people are given resistance for whatever good reasons? And no, I heard some of the council people, their concerns, and I completely understand. But if there's a home that's going on right now, these people weren't transparent and didn't come along, then are we having arbitrary enforcement where some people come forward in a transparent manner about what they want to do? They have to go through a process, and then they may or may not succeed, while other people are succeeding illegally.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Your time is up.
Next, I have Jontel Toland.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? I know it's been a little hard considering, our nation is grieving at the moment, and there's a lot of turbulent things going on in the world. It's still nice to know that there are a lot of good things to look forward to. The beginning of this meeting, hearing about the prospect of a new pub and leisure activities for people of all ages to do is something that's very promising. And as a resident or someone who has been a resident of Coatesville for most of his life, I think that it's something that makes me especially happy. I moved away from Coatesville for reasons that weren't so great. So I just, my statement is more of a comment and less of a question or anything, and just an observation saying that I've been seeing some pretty promising things in my hometown, and I'm a very staunch supporter in Coatesville. And I came by this past weekend, and attended a End Cash Bail rally, which I found very empowering. Our youth are plagued with many pressing issues that, believe it or not, have to do with, they're all interconnected. And a lot of things that I heard being said really resonated with me, as far as like things that we can do to uplift the youth and build better bridges between all demographics. So again, I do see a lot of promising things that really excite me, and I look forward to it. And I'll, as I have been, I will continue to closely watch. So thank you.
Thank you. Is Shakia still on the line?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, love. You're up next.
Hi, good evening. How y'all doing? I got real late. I'm so tired and I have to work in the morning, but trying to make this quick. I was just concerned about something that happened to me last week on April 9th, last Friday evening. I had felt harassed and discriminated against Mr. Ed Simpson, which is my neighbor that lives about 3 houses away from me. And I've been living on the 700 block of Madison Street for 11 years now. And April 9th was the first time I met Mr. Ed Simpson. He never introduced himself to me as city council member or anything. He harassed my underage sons. They were out with their cousins actually and friends, because it was a spring break. So, we had family over for Easter. My sons were out front of the house, and he appeared to had a weapon in his hand. It was like a drill gun. And he was out there recording my sons on his device on his phone. I came out and I was like, what's the issue? Why are you recording my children? Because they're not doing anything. And he actually made defamatory statements saying that my kids were drug dealers. He embarrassed me publicly in front of neighbors. So at that point, I felt like, very racial profile towards my young Black children, because my oldest son, he just got a vehicle for his birthday. And since he had a vehicle, that's when all these issues occurred. I never knew this man to be recording my children or myself. I've been living on the street for 11 years, no issues. And that's why I stayed here so long. So my concerns is that I just want these matters to be resolved. I don't know Ed Simpson we could talk face to face, anything. He's my neighbor actually. So it's just really sad to me that he never reached out, being a city council member or nothing, of any concerns of the community, and helping me with any concerns I ever had in the community. And if he had concerns about my kids ever being drug dealers, he could have actually came to me. But that never happened. So I just feel threatened on my street right now. And my sons actually have not came home since that incident, because they're afraid that they're going to get recorded. They're like, Mom, why are we getting recorded? And my oldest son has a promising future, and he's got a scholarship to Millersville. So I don't want him to mess up my son's future. So I just want these concerns just to be issued with him. And I see that he logged off, and that said that we couldn't even talk face to face, because I'm sure that he knew that this was going to come up tonight. So that's really all I have to say. And I just, want the issues to be, looked at, and for somebody to say, something to him, or I don't know how he can address other issues in the future if he has concerns.
Okay. Thank you. Like you said, Mr. Simpson already logged off, and we as council, we have absolutely no say in the matter. I don't know that Mr. Simpson came there representing himself as the council person, while you already know he's a council person, but I don't know what capacity he even approached you, your sons, or whomever. And I can't even begin to get involved because I don't know anything one way or the other. And it really isn't a city matter. It's more of a matter of dispute between neighbors. So I would, if you like, I could speak with Mr. Simpson and see if there would be a time where we could, if you like, I would sit in on a conversation so you and he can discuss and try to come to some type of resolution here.
Yeah, I hope that's what I want, is a resolution, because my kids are not negative kids. They're young boys, and they're just like, not negative kids. We've always been positive people on our street. So for that issue to occur, and then especially around the holiday when family's around, just was really shocking to me. So yeah, like I just want the issue to be resolved.
Very well. I can't tell you exactly when I will get to speak with him, because I don't know his actual work hours, except that he gets up really early. But I'll reach out to him, let him know that, you want to reason.
Yes.
And we'll see where it goes from there. But thank you so much.
Thank you, and I appreciate y'all for everything that y'all do for the community. And also Nadia, she has my information. I'm also a recruiter at my job, so there's a lot of jobs that's available where I'm employed at, and I'm a recruiter, so she can get my information out for for anybody that needs employment. So just reach out to me. My information she can give to anybody that needs a job opportunity. It's for a medical technician. You can you get hired, you get trained to be a medical technician. I've been a medical technician for 6 years, so if anybody's looking for jobs.
Thank you so much, Ms. Reason.
Thank
you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice evening.
You too. Sweetheart. Thank
Bye-bye.
Do we have any others, Ruth Ann?
I think that's it.
That's all. Can I get a motion to close?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Full council, please.
There was a question in the chat.
Okay.
Were they asking to comment?
They put up a question. What is the complaint process for this citizen who feels unsafe due to assault by Councilman Simpson?
If there was an
It's a police matter.
We don't know that it was an assault.
We're not involved.
Right.
So that would be a police matter.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Logan, poll council, please, for close.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lavender Norris.
Yes.
6-0 carries. Thank you.
Okay, we have no special events, so we're on to our special comment, council comments. Let's start, Mr. Folks,
Why me first all the time?
because you're special.
No, I'm just very good meeting. I I look at the screen how many participants was on here tonight, and it got up to almost 60 plus. Just on here, I don't know what was on YouTube or whatever, but thanks for coming in tonight. There's a lot of questions. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, about our council, about our city. For me, I'm not involved. I'm for this city. I've worked with everybody in this city. My heart is in this city. I've been talking about our children and having a community center, which we don't have in the last 20, 25 years. And it's a shame. I can see why they want to put a group home here. Because there's nothing here right now. The city is moving straight ahead. We have hiccups in our council, from the residents to the ones who talked about it tonight. I support the police department. I have friends that are police department, that are police. I have cousins that are police. They're people just like me. They got a job to do. It's a job. I got a job to do. It's work for the citizens of this city, especially the second ward. I pledge to you right now that I would do everything in my power and my physical power to move this city forward and not look behind. What happened yesterday and the day before is gone. If it happens again, it's trouble. We don't want trouble. We want to move this city. If the city moves, the residents move. If the city stays stagnant the way it is now, we're not going to move. So if people down this city look at me, I've taken on my back to promote this city and to do what I can for the city. I'm not a politician. I'm a resident. And to the residents out there, you are somebody. So have a good night, and please be careful. Wear your mask. get your COVID shot. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Councilperson Gray.
Good afternoon, everybody who's watching, who came tonight. We were so well attended with so much support for our endeavors and different endeavors coming in to the city. So thank you so much for that. I know that we as a country are in deep mourning for Daunte Wright, and the Derek Chauvin trial has been tough on all of us. So I oblige everybody to participate in self-care. Make sure you're keeping yourself well and don't unravel of sounds of opposal, because transformative justice is coming, making a way for people who have always been left behind. I got a chance to attend a rally speaking against injustice. There was folks there with mutual aid programs, giving COVID supplies that they have collected to local people in the community, which I thought was really awesome. And I can't wait to see more mutual aid programs. And it feels tough, and it feels like tension, and it feels risky. But as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, that peace is not the absence of tension. Peace is the absence of injustice. And one of those is definitely much easier than the other. And so I oblige everybody for self-care, because the work of transforming your community into a community where everyone is well, healed, and whole is extremely, extremely important work, and it's tiring work. And so just wanting everybody to be well and to speak truth to power in the strongest terms possible, because all the people who have made way for you to be as comfortable as you are have spoken truth. Like, the founders of our country speaking against monarchy, like people, abolitionists speaking against slavery, like the civil rights movement speaking against Jim Crow, speak just as loudly and powerfully and determined against everything you stand for, and continue for self-care. So thank you and good night.
Thank you. Councilwoman Alameen.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. It was really wonderful tonight to see so many people between here and YouTube. A lot of people attended. I hope that individuals keep attending. I hope people will share with us their visions for Coatesville, what they want, what they don't want. We have a lot of great things happening in Coatesville. We have new investors coming, new businesses coming. There's a lot of growth happening. It doesn't happen overnight. It does take time. And I just look forward to continuing to work with council to make this happen, because we all play a part in it. We all have to work together. We are not perfect. So as Mr. Folk said, there are sometimes hiccups. Sometimes we have to do better, but we are here for the residents, and we are here to help this city grow, to make it a better place, a place where folks want to come to live. And, with time, there'll be jobs, for people to apply for. So hopefully that will attract people to come here too. But we as a council, we just have to continue to work together to move the city forward. So again, thank you everybody for coming, and I hope everybody has a great night. And for all of those that celebrate, Ramadan started tonight, so Ramadan Mubarak to those that celebrate.
And Ramadan Kareem to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hunt.
Good evening. I too want to thank everyone for being with us this evening. via Zoom, via YouTube. It's just great. I did scroll through and I saw a lot of people on here tonight, and it's exciting. It's encouraging to see you. I want to thank our staff at City Hall. We have a staff led by our manager who just does a remarkable job thinking out of the box, thinking out of the norm, bringing industry and opportunities into our city. Mr. Logan, I thank you so much for the hard work, the tireless energy that you put into the job, the hours that you spend at City Hall and filtering calls even once you're off duty. So thank you so much. To our chief, again, we thank you for leading our police force and the men and women that you have around you working with and for you. It shows in the community. I want to congratulate the retirement of Lieutenant Audette and as well as the promotion of the other officers to their different positions. I just want to remind us as a body that we all live in this community together, and we have to acknowledge our differences as well as our similarities. Not only acknowledge them, but we have to respect each other for where we are. But even as we respect each other, in the same token, it may not involve us directly as individuals, but it incorporates us directly as a body. Therefore, we should always be mindful of how we talk, how we present, and how we carry ourselves. And council people, we took an oath to respect, to defend, and to protect the Constitution, our citizens, and our city. We have a right to free speech. We have a right to demonstrate just as we wish. But I also believe that in the position that we are in, we have to be mindful of what we portray to our citizens, to our community, because they put us here to represent them, to look out for their welfare, to look out for their well-being. And I just think that we need to do it as a wholeness, as a more rounded individuals, and just to be able to be reachable, to be approachable, and being able to sit down and reason and talk with each other, to each other, and have a better solution than some of what we saw over this past weekend. So I just encourage all of us as council persons to join each other, to listen. Just because I may not view things the way you view them, or you may not view things the way I view them, doesn't mean that we can't sit down and have a conversation. And I listen to you and you listen to me, and see if we can come together for what is the betterment of our city, of our residents, and to make sure that we are involved with the upcoming rising of the city of Coatesville. Because I do believe wholeheartedly that we are on an upcline now. It's always been a decline, but I believe that we are in the mode of an upcline, and we have our commissioners with us. We have those that are in higher positions looking at Coatesville. So we have to present ourselves respectful. We have to present ourselves as confident in the programs that are coming to us, and just take them and just grab a hold and lead them. I want to give all respect again to our president of our council, as well as our vice president. You're involved deeply in everything that's going on, and you filter it back to us. So I thank you for the job that you're doing, and I just continue to pray for all of us. Your religions may be different, but I just pray that God keeps us, surrounds us, and allow us to continue to do what we're doing for the city. Everyone, please have a good evening. Continue to be safe, continue to wear your mask, and continue to remember that COVID is very present, and we need to make sure that we are being safe and that we're doing the things that we can do. I am fully vaccinated. Our family is, so I'm excited about that. So thank you all so much, and please have a good evening. God bless you. Thank you for all your prayers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hunt, for those comments.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hunt.
Thank you, sir.
You said so much.
Thank you.
The city is rising. We have a lot going on, and I tell you, you know, during the course of this year, we've heard so much stuff, you know, thrown out: wealth equality, homelessness, this and that, and this and that. And I tell you, I'm so grateful that we hired the manager that we hired, and you know, Mr. Logan utilizing his skills and his position to bring jobs into the city of Coatesville. You know, we are on the uprise. We are attracting developers, but we're not even waiting for that. He's attracting existing companies who want to come into our area and hire our residents. And I'm just so grateful, because that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of communication. Because see, when you're trying to affect change, you have to be effective. And this is the issues that I have, that, you know, and, you know, we can hold protests, but in order to be effective or to affect the change, you got to be effective. You know, F the police. Our residents were appalled. The police department is here to protect and service. And I know, listen, there's so much going on nationally that is horrible. And I stand and I pray and I stand with those folks. And I know that there's change has to come, change will come. But right now, I'm so grateful for the community that we have. I'm so grateful for the chief of police that we have, that he is open and willing to talk. But you can't affect change if you're not willing to communicate and sit down and talk with them. I'm not understanding what the issue is. How do you say F the police, but you're not willing to come to the table? What is it all for? What's the end game? What's the purpose? You stand in our home saying F the police, so they don't take, we can't take that as you talking to police in Minnesota. You talking to police here. But we won't sit down to be effective in our change. People want to know that we're here representing them. That's why they put us in office. They didn't put us in office to do our own personal agenda. They put us here to represent them. They put us here to make life and the quality of life better for them and ourselves. And I'm speaking to those people that were so upset earlier today, so upset yesterday, so upset Saturday. As for me, I support our police department. As for me, I support our city manager. And I know that our city manager is not trying to violate anyone's constitutional rights to protest. And I'm sorry, but I just needed to make these comments. Because see, silence, when you're silent, it seems like you go along with it. I don't go along with it. I'm sorry.
You're saying a mouthful. Yeah.
And I just think that the people need to know I'm here. I represent the 4th Ward in Coatesville. I represent those people, even if someone comes to me about something that I'm not quite on board with. If the majority of the residents in this area, if this is what they want, then guess what? The majority rules. I represent them. People want to know that they have sound people in the government doing the things that are needed to move this city. We've been in the hole. We've been down for how many years? We've been trying for the last 25 years. And we're finally on the upswing. I will not allow anything within my power to come and destroy what we're trying so hard to build. We're trying to change the image of the city. Mr. Logan and the team have worked hard in trying to re-image the city. We have developers coming in. We've heard from team people today about the restaurants that they're putting in our city. They're coming and investing their money. That's their money, not money that we're giving them. That's their money. And I just need the people to know that we support what's going on here. We support moving Coatesville Rising. It has nothing to do with not wanting to provide shelter, not wanting to provide services. Because see, that's going to be the takeaway, guys, that people are going to hear. Oh, they ask so many questions. Oh, they don't want to provide for the halfway house or the shelter house. This is about our residents and whatever it's going to take to help build up our community. But we can't build up our community looking at our protector saying F you to their face. We don't need you. What are we going to do? Self-police? What are we going to do? Is there a plan? We don't know because nobody comes to the table. What is the end game? What is the purpose? There has to be a purpose. And I'm sorry. I'm done. Thank you very much.
Keep on going. Keep on going.
I know, Donald, but it's upsetting. You know, it's upsetting, you know.
You're speaking truth.
Amen, Carmen.
Yep, you're speaking truth.
Thank you,
You know, I've lived here all my life, and I tell you, I've served two terms of council. I'm not doing this volunteering my time for nothing. You know, maybe I'm not aspirational that I want to go and become a senator or state representative. I just want to build up my community.
Amen. Amen.
That's what I want.
I just know that the Bible says be slow to speak and quick to listen. And I understand that to know that there's a way that seems right, but the end leads to destruction. And if you would just indulge me for a minute, if I get in my vehicle and go say I'm going to work, I don't have a driver's license and I don't have insurance, but I'm going to work. I get to work and I'm instructed by my employer to transport a package, a valuable package. I don't tell my employer I don't have a license. I don't tell them I don't have insurance. I just say, okay, and take the package. And I'm off on my merry way. Lo and behold, I get stopped by a police officer. And I can't produce the credentials necessary. Do I get a citation? Do I get drug out of my car and incarcerated? Well, first of all, I would dare to say it would be a citation because I don't know anybody to this very day that was arrested and incarcerated for driving without insurance or a license. I know that driving without insurance could cause you to exit your vehicle and leave it there until the tow truck comes to get it. I'm aware of that situation. However, the police officer is doing his job. I'm doing my job. Remember, I said there's a way that seems right.
Mm-hmm.
because I got in my car wrong, knew I was wrong, but did it anyway. The police officer does his job right, and I know he's right, but I have an attitude with the police officer. He could have caused me to lose my job. I got a citation for it. He was wrong. No, he was not wrong. I was. We have to learn how to take responsibility for our own mess. Learn how to own your mess, because if you learn how to own your mess, you'll stop making so much. Trust me, been there and done that. I learned how to own mine. And once I took ownership of it, I was, whoa, I got to back off. This is a bit much. We're a small community here. We need to stand still and say, I ran for city council and people put their trust in me. What have I done? Positive, productive. What have I done with the trust that the residents placed in me? Have I built anything up, or have I torn the majority of everything I touched down? And I'm not talking about any one individual. I'm talking to all of us, both council people and residents. What is the standard that we want to live by? What is the standard that we will not allow anyone else to violate? There's a lot of people coming in the city. There was a lot of people in that park Saturday chanting along with F the police. But you know what they did? They got in their car with their driver's license and their insurance, and they left the city and went home. They went home. They left. We're still here. How long will we allow people to come in here, tear us down, and just happily ride back off out to wherever they're from? At what point do we own our mess and protect what we own? I didn't join a club here. I did not join a club. I ran for city council. I asked the residents to support me. They supported me in this. And by the grace of God, I will not allow one day to go by that I don't do what I can for this city. Whether I'm out and about or sitting here at the table, I have the best interest of the city at heart. I would love to tell you all of my council members do, my colleagues do too, but I can't speak for them at this point. I have to tell you where I am. I am Coatesville. I am, not because of a title, but because of my heart. I'm Coatesville. And I'm not standing here telling you I'm the toughest one on the block. I'm not telling you I dare anything. I'm telling you I'm Coatesville, and I'm willing to protect Coatesville at any cost. At any cost. I am ever grateful for this opportunity to represent the city of Coatesville. I've heard all the negative things that have been said. At this point, they don't even matter, because I believe if you see for yourself, you know Coatesville isn't what people are saying it is. We are much better than what you hear. You have to see for yourself. I extend the invitation to the people that were in the park Saturday. Give me opportunity to represent Coatesville to you. I want to tell you who, what, and why. Give me the opportunity. It'll be my pleasure. I just want you to know what it is, because apparently you've been misled. Thank you for the opportunity to address you. Please don't be offended. And if I sound like I'm fussing, it's not that I'm fussing, I'm passionate. I'm extremely passionate about my community. So with that being said, God bless you all. I thank you all, to our staff, our administration, and congratulations to our newly promoted officers. We're grateful, we're safe, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Chief, you're doing an awesome job. I support the police. I support the Coatesville Police Department. If there's anything I can do, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. It'll be my pleasure to help. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll make, okay, somebody say, I'll second. And with my second, I support the police. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mrs. Zahn.
I don't like the chief.
That was special.
Yeah.
Full council, sir.
Just muted, Mr. Logan.
He ain't ready to go.
Yeah.
Councilman Folks,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hunt,
Yes.
Councilwoman Alameen,
Yes.
Councilperson Graves,
Yes.
Councilwoman Green,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lavender Norris.
Absolutely.
6-0 carries. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night,
God
everybody.
Have a
bless.
good night.
Good night.
All the people.
A lot of people on tonight.
Yeah. Hey, Mary.